And we are live. Hello, everyone. I am Myrna Rodriguez from CommutAir. We do business as United Express. Welcome to our live video. We partnered with the RTAG group to speak to you a little bit in detail on how to transition from a helicopter pilot to an airline pilot. In this video, I'll be talking about the assistance that CommutAir offers to transition from that helicopter pilot to the airline pilot. If you can hear us okay, and if the screen is clear, just give us a wow emoji or a like, thumbs up. But if you're not familiar with CommutAir or myself, just a little bit about our background. CommutAir is a regional airline operating as a United Express partner. So we fly exclusively for United because United does own us partially, which we are the only regional that United has any type of ownership. So we have a really great backing and relationship with United directly. We've been in business since 1989. We currently fly the Embraer 145, and it's a growing fleet. So we're in the process of bringing 61 new aircraft on property. We have about almost half, and we operate out of Newark and in IED. So EWR and IED are our two base locations. They are also base locations for United. And we fly particularly in the Northeast. We go down as far as Jacksonville and as far west as St. Louis. So we are doing a lot of growing, so that route structure is changing very frequently. Personally, my name is Myrna, and I've been with CommutAir for 6.5 years. Started out as a flight attendant with the company and then transitioned over to pilot recruiting. I've been pilot recruiting for the last 3.5 years, and so it's been super exciting because for the last 3.5 years, we've been doing a lot of growth and changing our fleet type and tripling in size. So I really like the company. It's a very family-feel company, and I'm excited to talk to you guys today. So throughout the video, feel free to leave comments in the comment section. I have my marketing intern, Maddie, here. She's going to be taking down your comments and your questions, and at the end of the video, I'll address all of those. But so there's, let's get right into it. So there's no, so it's a known fact that there's a huge pilot shortage, and I think everyone in aviation is definitely feeling that pain or projecting for it. So what our research has shown is that there is a big interest in helicopter pilots to transition over to the airlines. And we definitely wanted to be a part of that and help the helicopter pilots to meet the minimums and teach them how to do that. A lot of the feedback that we've been getting is that the helicopter pilots aren't sure what they need. There's a huge financial burden on that, and we want to definitely alleviate that type of burden as far as assisting financially with time building. So what we have created is our Rotary transition program, and it's designed to really be flexible to any helicopter pilot. So it's really open to both helicopter and civilian pilots, which is really nice. What we've done is we've made it flexible, so you pick the school, you pick the flight club, wherever you want to do your time building or wherever you want to do your training, that's up to you, which I'm not sure many other airlines offer that right now. Also, is that you have 6 months to complete that. So if you are in any type of military obligation, or if you're in a civilian position, you can keep that. You don't have to up and leave your family, you know, your obligations for 3 months, get your ratings and get your hours, and then come and work full time. You can keep all of that and still be able to be part of our program. Hey from Atlanta, or hello Atlanta. Which is really nice. What we do is we give you $22,100 towards your training for you to meet the ATP or restricted ATP minimums. Like I said, you get 6 months to complete that. The $22,100 is, you know, our sign-on bonus. So we give it to you very early, 6 months prior. There is a 2-year commitment once you are entered into the program. That 2 years doesn't start until you actually become a CommutAir employee, which is really nice. So most of the pilots, helicopter pilots, are really questioning what they need and how their helicopter time and experience really transfers over to CommutAir or to the airlines specifically. Great thing is all of your helicopter time counts. It counts towards your total, which is really nice. It counts towards your total time, your cross-country time, your night time. It all counts. The only big factor is your PIC fixed wing. And for most helicopter pilots, you don't have any fixed wing time. But if you do, that's great. If you have any fixed wing time, comment below. Would love to hear about your fixed wing time and what aircraft that you've flown. So you'll need 250 PIC fixed wing, 25 hours of multi-engine time, and your commercial multi-engine license. The regulation, the ATP and restricted ATP regulation, you do need 50 hours of multi-engine time. But during our training, you will get the other 25. So you just need 25 of your own multi-engine time. We'll give you the rest in our training, which is really nice. Depending on how many hours, everyone is different. Whether you're military, whether you're a civilian pilot, everyone is different. So depending on your experience and what hours you have, we'll build out a 6-month plan. If you don't need the 6 months, great. We can build out a 4-month plan. It's really flexible to you, and that's one of the big things here at CommutAir is that we want to cater to you and what works for you and your family. Especially with our military pilots, we know some of you have been deployed, so you've left your family for a little bit of time. We don't want to pull you away from that again. If you don't use the full 22-1, you'll get whatever the difference is and a sign-on bonus, and then whatever you need over the 22-1, then that is your responsibility. But what we'll do is we'll set up an account with the flight school or the flight club on your behalf and pay into that or whatever the terms are. Now, some of you may have or know a friend that has their own plane, or you have your own plane. We have set up a standard, depending on the aircraft and gas prices at that time, of what we'll pay to that. So we'll reimburse you for that flight time as well. So like I said, one of the huge things that we're doing right now and really supporting this program is that we are so flexible with how it's structured. So once you complete your minimums after the 6 months, if you're on a 6-month plan, after the 6 months, you'll go into the next available Embraer 145 training class with us. And you'll be a CommutAir pilot and be a 121 training pilot in the airlines, which is really exciting. As a CommutAir pilot, our bases, and you'll be based either in Washington Dulles at the IAD airport or EWR. We do not require any of our pilots to relocate to any base location. We have one of the best commuter policies in the industry. So our pilots get 4 hotel rooms for commuting purposes. So if you want to commute in the day before your trip, you can use one of your commuter rooms, and that is on us. Have easy access to the airport. Most of our hotels have free breakfast, get some breakfast, have a great day of flying. We also give you parking reimbursement at your home airport, wherever that may be. So we have pilots all over the country, East Coast and West Coast, traveling to our base locations, and they have parking reimbursement wherever they want. Some of them move, or some of them are transient, so their parents may live in, say, Florida, but they are commuting from half the time from California. They'll, switch it depending on what that month brings and what their schedule is. Also, the really great thing about our commuter policy is that we have an unlimited make a good effort to get to work policy, which means you're not penalized or there's no disciplinary action taken against you in the event you don't make it to work on time, which takes out a huge stress factor in the world of commuting. If any of you have heard about commuting, it probably hasn't been very positive, so we definitely have altered our commuter policy to take out not only the financial responsibility of commuting, but the stress as well with our unlimited make a good effort to get to work policy. Starting pay with CommutAir as an FO, you are starting at $36.91, and that is per flight hour with a 75-hour monthly guarantee. 1 year after you complete training, your pay goes up to $55.50. So it's a pretty significant pay raise. We have so much flying going on. We're doing so much growing right now. You are going to upgrade pretty quickly as well. So once you become a pilot with us, then you will start reaching your minimums. And once you reach your minimums, you'll go into the left seat. Once you're in the left seat, you'll start reaching some minimums to go on to the majors. I know a lot of pilots' career paths are regionals and then going on to fly for mainline, United, Delta, and American, whatever your choice may be. Since we are owned by United, we do have a career path program for our pilots that takes you from the CommutAir flight deck to the United Airlines flight deck. It's not a guaranteed flow, but it is a career path program, and we give you guaranteed access to the United interview just by being hired with us. Now that process starts as soon as you're entered into the RTP program at the very beginning. So we can start that process 6 months before you even get to become a CommutAir employee, which is really nice. So how do you get started? We use airline apps. If anyone is familiar with airline apps, give us a thumbs up. We use airline apps to process all of our applications. It's a pretty extensive application process. You do have to put in every aircraft and time and whatnot into that system. But it gives us a very good layout of your experience to see if you are qualified. So if you are interested in the RTP and beginning that process, you can definitely connect with myself or one of our pilot recruiting specialists that can kind of take you through the path of getting you into one of our new hire class and becoming an airline pilot. All interviews for the program are done via Skype. So if I have anyone from overseas or not able to travel, just get get up and travel, you can definitely, we make it very easy for you to do it via Skype. And it's about an hour and a half of your time. The interview actually consists of 3 parts. There is an online test that we send to you before the interview, and then there's a technical portion of the interview and an HR portion of the interview. I know we fly multi-engine aircraft fixed wing, and a lot of you helicopter pilots might not have that experience. So we definitely cater the interview to your experience, which is really nice as well. You don't have to crash course study anything. We're just really looking forward to seeing what knowledge and experience you have, and what you already have is going to set you up for success in our training program, additionally with the training that you're going to get as you get your multi-engine rating and the rest of that PFC fixed wing time. So if we have any questions, I can take those now from Maddie.
Same.
Yeah.
Okay. So, do you have a cadet program to work on the rating?
As far as the RTP is kind of like our cadet program. So what we do is we help you time build. So we give you financial assistance towards time building. So if you need that 250 PIC fixed wing time and multi-engine time, that's what our $22,100 will go to once you're part of the RTP program.
And Brian wants to know, how long before completion of military service does CommutAir begin interviewing?
So you actually don't even have to complete your military service. Even you just have to be 6 months away from being able to go into a training program. So I would say if you're about 6 to 8 months out, we can start the process now, and you can get entered into the program. And while you're still finishing those military obligations, you can work towards your fixed wing time. And obviously we help you with the 22-1. So we set that all up for you. We give you, depending on how much time you need, we'll give you a monthly goal. If you need the full 250, it's about 42 hours a month. We expect you to fly towards your minimums. So when you do get out of the military, there's a very short period of time that you're either not working or not doing anything, and you can go right into our training program.
Will you be conducting interviews at the RTI conference? And also, will CommutAir be recruiting for mechanics at all?
We will be recruiting, or we will be interviewing at the RTAG conference. We are also sponsoring a snack session at the RTAG. You can look for more information on our website and on RTAG, as well as CommutAir Recruiting Facebook page. As far as mechanics, we will hire mechanics. We really enjoy our military mechanics. Our bases, as far as the mechanics, are going to be in Newark, DC, and Albany. And with those positions, you will have to reside at one of those locations. But I can definitely get you that information if you want to either send us a quick note and whatnot with your contact information. I can have our maintenance recruiter get in contact with you.
What travel benefits does CommutAir offer on their own, parent, and partner airlines?
So we have, since we just fly for United, we just have United flight benefits primarily. As far as United flight benefits, it is you, a spouse, companion, or first friend spot, your parents, 2 parents, your kids, and then you get a second friend spot. As far as the companion, spouse, or first friend spot, that can be, when I first started with the airlines, I had my sister on that spot. I'm now in a domestic relationship, and so now he is in that spot. Everyone pays an annual fee, but you pretty much can go anywhere domestic, standby, as well as international. There is a small segment fee that the parents, your second friend, and yeah, your parents and your second friend do pay a small segment fee. Additionally, after 6 months, you are able to fly on almost every other airline out there through our ZET program, and it is, you pay a small segment fee, and it is a standby. We have a lot of systems in place where we can kind of tell the flight loads and whatnot, and the gate agents and whatnot at the airport are pretty nice about letting us know where we are on the standby and, you know, how likely it is for us to get on the flight. But additionally, if you want to buy a flight, we get a United Airlines discount as well. It's just for everyone on your benefits, so it's not something that you can offer to anyone outside of your benefits. But other than that, as a pilot, you also get jump seating privileges, which are really nice as well. So in the event that you're going somewhere either for leisure or commuting to work, you always have that opportunity to get into the jump seat, and that's on almost every carrier.
Say the VA picks up the majority of your flight school costs. Can we utilize the bonus for incidentals like lodging, or will you only pay directly to the flight school?
Sorry, I hesitated there for a second because it's a little bit of a complicated question. And if you guys can just give us the wow face again, if you can hear the questions. I just want to make sure everybody can hear the questions that Maddie is saying. But it is just for the flight time. As far as lodging and whatnot, that is, our program is set up so that you don't have to pay for that you can do it at your home, wherever you may be, at your local flight school. And it doesn't have to be a Part 141 school. It could be a Part 61 school too, wherever is most convenient for you to get your hours. So as far as the lodging and incidentals, it doesn't cover that because we give you so much flexibility to be anywhere and have it at the comfort of your home, in your hometown, or where you're based or whatnot. So it does only cover the flight time. Like I said, if you do have your own plane, or you are flying with someone else, like a friend who has their own plane, we have a program and kind of standard setup that will pay depending on what the gas is and the flight, what the gas will cost, as well as the type of plane it is. We just took industry standard, and we'll pay out per flight hour on that.
What is pay like during training?
Paid is your 75-hour monthly guarantee at the $36.91 per flight hour. It's total, the entirety of training is paid. You get single occupancy lodging, and we get you to and from all training events. So you really don't have to worry about commuting until after you're signed off on training.
Lindsay from our tag wants to know.
Hi, Lindsay.
What would you say is the strongest aspect of your RTP that sets it apart from others?
I would say our strongest aspect is the flexibility that we have, that you can train anywhere, as well as you can train while you're either still in the military or you're still working at your full-time position. You don't have to quit, or you don't have to be done with one thing in order to start meeting your requirements. Our program is set up not to be full-time. You can definitely do it full-time, but if you have full-time obligations and would like to start getting your requirements at a full-time speed, our program is definitely set up for that. And like I said, along with being able to train anywhere, and I've noticed as well, our program is set up for not only the military helicopter pilots, but our civilian pilots too. And right now, about half of our pilots that are in the RTP program are civilian pilots. So we're opening it up to a very big range of helicopter pilots, or actually all helicopter pilots.
With the fleet that is growing, do you foresee additional domicile?
I do. Right now, we are concentrating solely on bringing the 145s on property. We have about 33 more to go, so that's been our full-time priority. But I mean, as we grow, we're definitely, I think that's our next step. It's just, I'm not sure when or where, but I think that's just a natural progression with a growing company.
What is the annual salary in the first and second year?
First and second year will all depend, and what you usually do, because it all depends on how many flight hours you get. You can fly about, well, you can't fly more than 1,000 hours per year or in 12-month period for the FAA. So if you take that times 3691, it's probably about $36,000. That's very rough estimate. Our first year pilots are getting more towards, I would say, 55 and above, especially with the sign-on bonus, which we would supplement. You would get that kind of 6 months and ahead of time. And then second year at the 5550, you're looking more, I would say, between 60 and 70,000. But it really all depends on the amount of flight time that you're doing and you're flying while you're with us. You got to add per diem in there, and then the flight benefits, and then as far as our total benefits package.
Any consideration for foreign military pilots?
Right now, any pilots, foreign pilots that we do offer is Australian, because the E3 visa does include the pilot group. The H-1B visa does not include the pilot group, and so unfortunately, as an airline, we're not able to sponsor because they're not in that professional group type. So we are sponsoring just on the E3 visa.
Does CommutAir have any future plans for movement into ATL?
I'm not sure. Atlanta is a pretty big hub, and it's definitely in our realm of things as far as being in the northern side of the U.S. Or I'm sorry, the eastern side of the U.S. We do go as far as Jacksonville, so it's definitely not out of the question. With the fleet type that we have, previous to us being an all-jet fleet, we had the Dash 8s, the Q200s, and the Q300s, which we retired back in January. So those restricted our route structure a little bit more, but now we have a higher, faster, and aircraft that can go farther. It's definitely in our stream right now. That's not a city that I think we're going to pick up in the next few months, but it's definitely a possibility.
Can you explain how the RTP works for civilian pilots, total hours required, etc.?
Yeah, so for civilian pilots, you will need 1,500 hours total, and that can be helicopter time or fixed wing time. The biggest portion of that that you probably don't have is going to be the 250 PIC fixed wing time and the multi-engine time. So you'll need 250 hours PIC fixed wing time, 25 hours of multi-time, and then a total of 1,500 hours. That total can count as, or your helicopter time can count as that total time.
Any plans to offer an A&P completion program at this time?
I know we do have an A&P program for our mechanics. I'm not familiar with it. I strictly concentrate on pilots, but again, any of our mechanics out there, military, civilian, or whatnot, please send us your contact information and we can get you over to the maintenance recruiter that handles all of our programs. But again, with the maintenance, you are restricted to live in Washington, DC, Newark or the New York area, and Albany, New York.
Do you provide positive space and crash pad hotel for commuters?
We do not provide positive space and what was it?
Crash pad.
Oh, and crash pads. So that's what our commuter policy really eliminates is the crash pad portion of it. So we give you 4 company paid hotel rooms per month for commuting purposes. So if you wanted to come in the day before your trip, you can have a whole hotel room on us. You get 4 per month. We don't provide positive space, but we have the unlimited make a good effort to get to work. So if you don't make it to work on time, and you as long as you made a good effort according to some policies that we have here, which I've never had a pilot, not make it to work and not follow the guidelines. You're not penalized if there's no disciplinary actions taken against you. So a lot of our pilots won't get a crash pad, or if they do, they'll probably get a crash pad maybe for the first month to kind of see the lay of the land and how everything works. After that, they use their company paid hotel rooms. And the amount of flying that we have going on, there's not a lot of time that our pilots are sitting reserve, which is a very short period of time, which you would probably use a crash pad for majority of the time. So that time is very, very small. And so the 4 company paid hotel rooms for the commuting purposes really supplements the need for a crash pad.
How does United owning 40% of CommutAir affect company operations, growth, etc.?
Well, that's like a question way above my pay grade. But I mean, our relationship with United has always been strong, and we were previously Continental. So when we merged, our relationship has always been strong, and it will continue to be strong. And CommutAir will continue to grow and prosper because now we do have that official backing by them.
Someone just wants to know what the program is about. What are the time minimums?
So the time minimums are that you just have to be at least 250 hours away from any of the minimums. So if you are a military pilot and you are at 500 hours, that would be a minimum for the program. If you are a civilian pilot and you are at 1250 total hours, then you qualify for the program at that time. So the 22-1 is towards the 250 hours, whether that be a PIC fixed wing time, whether that just be time or multi-engine time.
Do you have any facts or figures on how many of your pilots have been hired by the mainlines over the last couple of years?
I do not, but I will say I've been here 6.5 years, and since the pilot shortage is now feeding into more of the majors and they're feeling that pain, our pilots get picked up very, very quickly. We have a very junior pilot seniority list. And when I say junior, there's a very small percentage at that top of that seniority list that have been here more than 10 years. So as that kind of goes into and speaks to that our pilots are getting picked up really, really quickly from the majors.
What is the length of time FOs are typically spending on reserve? What kind of reserve do you offer? Long haul, short haul? And what is your junior manning policy?
Okay, we do not junior man. So if everyone is not familiar with junior manning, it's when you are the low man on the seniority list and it is your day off, and because you're the low man or woman on the seniority list, you have to work on your day off. We do not do that. Your off day is your off day unless there's some unexpected operational inconvenience, or there's weather and you're stuck in Rochester and it's your go home day, but you can't get to your base location because all the flights are canceled. It's Mother Nature. There's nothing we can do. So you may be extended into your day off, but other than that, we do not junior man. As far as reserve time, like I said, we're doing a lot of growing. So we're bringing one new aircraft on every 3 weeks. So that's increased flying, increased routes. And with that, our pilots are sitting anywhere from 0 to 3 months on reserve, not very long at all. And then we have two types of reserve. We have an airport ready, which is an 8-hour shift at the airport and a 20-minute call out. And then we have a short call, which is a 12-hour shift, and you can be anywhere as long as you can get to the airport within 2 hours. We don't have long call. We're a smaller pilot group. We have about 320 pilots right now. Doesn't work for our operation. As we grow, I'm not sure if we'll bring in a long call or not, but right now we just have the airport ready and the short call. I will say that 8-hour shift does probably sound a little bit long to be waiting at the airport. As a flight attendant back in 2012, I definitely sat that, and it is long, but the really great thing is that we have so much flying going on. No one is sitting that 8 hours. No one's sitting more than 2 hours without getting a phone call from crew scheduling that they're flying on their schedule.
So we're going to keep taking questions. We'll try to wrap it up in the next 10 minutes or so.
Okay, perfect. So I'm not sure if everyone heard Maddie, but we're going to be taking a few more questions, and then we will wrap it up. But we can also definitely do a Q&A of the rest of the questions on our Facebook, kind of put a document together and share that. But you can definitely contact us at 440-462-0692 to speak with a myself or another pilot recruiting specialist directly, or you can email us at pilotrecruiting@commutair.com. Those both contact information is located in the description box down below. So I'll take 2 more questions and then we'll wrap everything up.
What is the per diem rate, and is it paid in training?
Per diem is paid in training, and per diem is $1.70 per duty hour.
What is a typical work rotation schedule in terms of, or time on versus time off per month?
So as a reservist, you have 11 days off, and that's a minimum of 11 days off. Once you become a line holder, you have a minimum of 12 days off. So those are your off days. Unless you want to fly, you will not be scheduled to fly. But your schedule every month will have at least 11 or 12 days off, depending on if you're a line holder or reservist. The typical schedule is usually about a 4-day trip, 2 or 3 days off once you're a line holder. On reserve, it's more 4 or 5 days on, about 2 or 3 days off, with, again, those 11 days off per month. It really all depends on your personal bidding preferences. You can pretty much manipulate your schedule however you want once you start getting up the seniority list, which is really nice. We use a system called NAVTAG preferential bidding. So you put in your preferences, say, you know, you like to work the earlier shift. So you want to start your whole, every day of your trip at 5 a.m. And so you're off by like 2. So you can put those preferences in. You can put the days of the week that you like to work, that you don't like to work. So it's really depending on your personal bidding preferences and how you want to manipulate that schedule, and depending on operational needs and seniorities. But the system's really great and efficient, and our flying is very productive. So there's not a lot of long sits in between each flight. So while you're on, you're definitely going to be doing a lot of flying, and which maximizes your days off. All right, well, that is it for today. Once again, thank you everyone for joining us. Our contact information is in the description box, or you can email us, pilotrecruiting@commutair.com. Our phone number, 440-462-0692. Call us, and we can talk all about this program, kind of pertaining to what you're looking for, and get you more information, and hopefully set up with CommutAir. Once again, thank you, RTAC, for hosting us today. We look forward to seeing everyone at the RTAC conference in August. I think it's going to be huge. I know there's a big following, so we're just as excited as everyone else. Thanks for your time, and have a great day.